Hi Esther,
Hello,
how
hi.
are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. Okay, nice. Nice to meet you. And guys, this is Sam, and I'm with the my channel as always, coming to Toronto this time from Montreal, and continuing the student interviews. This is Esther from University of Toronto. We are of course in Toronto, Canada, and without much ado and delay, I would like Esther to say something about yourself, your school, your program, what you're doing, what you want to
Sure,
do. Yeah.
yes. I am a third year PhD student. Actually, I am already a PhD candidate
Oh my.
at the Department of Near and Middle Eastern Civilizations of the University of Tirana. And I study medieval manuscripts, mostly written in dead languages like Aramaic or ancient Hebrew.
Wonderful. Oh, this is really nice to know. Fantastic. Okay. Esther, so you said you are you're completing your post graduation right now, masters or
No, it's a PhD
PhD
program.
program? Okay, so
Yes,
you're already in there.
I am, yes.
Okay, very nice. Congratulations.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. And so you already told your discipline, and you okay. So what would you say in general about the standard or quality of education, making it easy for you? Like 0 is nothing, 10 is fantastic education, knowledge. So what would
I
you
think I would give it 7, I
7?
would say. I have experience in studying in different parts of the world, and University of Toronto was a perfect opportunity for me because it's specified in what I do, and the department is perfect and the professors are amazing, so I like it. But there is some space for improvement, of course.
Of course, of course. So you said 7 out of 10.
Yes, which
Yeah.
is a good number, I
Which is
think.
good. No, it's not bad.
Yeah.
And is it depending on university school? So what is the name of your school?
It's the Department of Near and Middle Eastern Civilization.
Department, yeah, Department of Near Middle East Eastern Studies.
Yeah,
Okay, Near
Civilization Studies.
Middle Eastern Studies Department.
Yes.
Fantastic, fantastic. Wow, I'm from that area originally, so I'm
Yeah.
also very interested in the subject. All right. So, what would you say are the what? Of course, this is private, your information, whatever you feel and you know of. What is, in your perspective, what you see is the best school or best schools other than your school? By school, I mean the department, right?
Well,
So,
you mean like worldwide?
no,
What
no,
school?
in this university.
At this university.
Mhm.
Well, because I am an international student, so I don't really have any experience with the educational system in Canada.
Uh-huh.
But as far as I know, most of the faculties inside the university provide very good and high quality education.
I see.
I cannot specifically comment on other departments because I never dealt with them and I don't know really people who go to the other departments.
Sure.
But I think the way to go, or if you want to check, one must go to the rankings.
Yeah, of course, of course.
And
Yeah, yeah.
these rankings
I
will
mean,
provide.
sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
yeah, what I meant to say is that if you hear students, talking about, oh, we have great engineering school, or we have great medical school, or we have great social sciences, is there anything you know of, or?
Well, what I would say is that I mostly interact with people who are involved in PhD programs.
I see.
And I think that when you are in PhD, it's more important who are you working with as a supervisor, rather than how is the overall performance of the department.
Yeah.
So in this case, I cannot be really helpful, but yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, I totally understand that. And as I said, you don't need to know everything.
Yeah.
And of course, very true that when you are in a PhD, you are even very specific to the
Yes,
topic.
it's very narrow what you are doing, and it's always very important to find someone who can deal with your topic and with whom you can work. And it doesn't really depend on the department or
Right,
the performance of the
Right,
department
right.
overall.
So, what you were doing in Armenia, since you're from Armenia, right?
Yes.
You're an international student.
Yes.
Okay. So, what did you do, or what university, if you will, did you go, and what did you?
I
complete?
started my bachelor at Yerevan State University,
Okay.
and then it was in Arabic studies.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I was in third grade that I went to Syria to study there Arabic
wow.
for 1 year. And then I completed my bachelor degree and I went to Central European University for my master's degree.
Which is in Armenia?
No, it was based in Hungary, Budapest, but now they moved to Vienna, Austria.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting. See, this is fantastic information
Yeah.
for everybody, different perspectives, different schools.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, go ahead. And continuing with that,
And then I did after completing my masters, I had some short-term programs. For example, in India, in Kerala, I went there to study Syriac for 3 months.
wow.
And
That's
what
really-
else? Another 3 months program in Louvain-la-Neuve, which is in Belgium.
Very interesting. I really like it.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice.
Thanks.
See, one reason I do this kind of thing because I don't have any really. I'm a software engineer,
Yes.
but this is my hobby because I love universities, I love education, and I have a. I won't say I'm a great guy, but I love different aspects of education.
Yeah.
So I'm really fascinated by what you told me. Different. Okay, very nice, very nice. Excuse me. All right, so we talked about what are the incentives and opportunities you see as being especially international student here in Toronto University.
What opportunities?
So, what are like incentives, attractions in the university? Like you get scholarship, financial help, internships.
Well, I came here with full support because I receive a graduate scholarship for pursuing my PhD studies.
Uh-huh.
And it's given to me as an international student for 5 years.
Wow.
If I succeed, like
Every year, right,
yes.
right.
So
Right.
it's given by 1 year, but if you succeed in your studies during this year, you are given for another year.
Very nice.
And then I know that in different departments, it's the terms are different for giving scholarship. Inside our department, it's basically you need to teach as a teaching assistant. Earlier it was only 1 semester. Now either you need to have 2 semesters or 2 courses for 1 semester. So basically it's 2 TA-ships.
I see, I got you. Yeah, definitely it's kind of a common thing to do, teaching assistant for graduate students,
Yes.
right? Okay, very nice. So you said you are teaching 2 subjects?
Starting from this September, I have to teach
2 subjects.
and it's
Okay,
beginning, yeah.
so you'll be essentially a teacher here.
Yeah,
Teaching assistant, right?
Teaching
right,
assistant,
right. I
yes.
mean, which is a teacher, of course.
yeah, it's like mostly grading the students or having seminars with them. Yeah.
Exactly, I know because with Harvard, when I do the TAs do our grades and the
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
right? Of course. Okay, very nice. And moving on, so you already talked about scholarships. Any, being a PhD student, I think that's what you're gonna do. A TA. You don't want to do a side job, part-time job, and things like. Are you still?
Well, actually, there is not much time left to do like other part-time jobs.
Right.
I know that people take more responsibilities, like you can apply for more teaching assistantships, and in that case you will receive more money. But as for me, I noticed that because I also have family responsibilities, I don't really have much time left for extra activities. Yes.
Right. So, as you said, you are covered under the scholarship, right?
Yes.
Fully covered, and this TA will help you with personal expenses and things like that.
Yes, inside our department, it's one of the conditions for receiving the scholarship.
I
You
see,
have
I
to
see.
teach. But I know that, like in other departments, they receive the scholarship regardless, and if they teach, they become teaching assistant. They get extra money
Extra,
for that.
right? I see what you're saying. Exactly. All right. So in a way, that's how they are covering you because you are teaching for them or helping as a TA.
Yes.
Okay.
So instead of like receiving the necessary credits, like doing the coursework, you have to pass the comprehensive examinations, and then you have to defend your thesis prospectus and
Right.
also teach.
Mhm.
And at the end, you will start writing the actual
Gotcha.
thesis.
Again, what was your topic? What is your topic of PhD?
So I am studying 17th century manuscripts written in the territory of Diyarbakir, and these are Armenian manuscripts written in Syriac script.
Gotcha. Okay, fantastic. All right. So moving further to the next one. What are the requirements for admissions? How did you get into this program?
I think it's different whether you are an international student or you are domestic. Because if you are international student, first of all, you need to provide proof of English language requirement. So basically, I think it's either IELTS or TOEFL. I didn't fulfill this requirement. I was exempt from it because I had a degree from English-speaking university. My master's degree was in English. So in that case, if you have a prior degree that you completed in English, that most of the coursework is English, or you wrote a thesis in English, they will exempt you from providing a test result. But otherwise, you will need to provide an IELTS test result. And as for PhD, you just need to follow the deadlines, and you provide some recommendation letters and I think a piece of academic work, either published or not. That doesn't specify necessarily that it should be published. And also, I think a couple of pages about your academic achievements, something like that.
How about GRE? Normally they ask for GRE, graduate record examination.
No, I was not asked for that.
Interesting.
No.
Yeah, some universities might not, or some do require.
Or maybe some departments might ask.
Right.
Our department did not ask.
Yeah, I'm
for
sure
that.
the science and business.
Yes,
Those guys. Do.
probably.
Okay, perfect. All right, very nice. So, how is the social life and attractions in this area? How do you feel? Easy to socialize? Difficult? Boring?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I came during the COVID, right after the COVID ended, so it was so much different compared to now because people were avoiding each other. There was not, people were not interacting, or it was very difficult to meet people and socialize. Nowadays, it has changed. I would say it's very different if you are coming alone or if you are coming with a family, because here at UFT, if you are coming with your family, whether with your spouse or a child, you have an opportunity to apply for the family housing. So the university has its buildings for students with family responsibilities, and in these buildings everything is organized to keep you and your family happy, basically.
Really?
Yes, it's very comfortable, and it's not very far from downtown Tirana, very close to a university campus. I simply walk, I never take subway or anything. And they have daycare for babies, for kids and everything, and you can simply interact with other families who are in similar situation. You know, one of the parents in this family is basically a graduate student at UFT, and it's very
interesting.
very easy to make friends and socialize.
Very
But
good.
if you are not with family, I guess it's very different. There are very interesting clubs, sports clubs, and I know there is singing groups and everything. So if you are interested, there is football club. You can simply join these clubs based on what your interests are and make friends.
Exactly. And in the worst case, because another big plus point is that you are in downtown Toronto.
Yes.
You can just go somewhere.
You can just get out of the elevator and
Right.
you are there. You can just enjoy the life. It's
Very
very
nice.
easy.
I'm happy because
And
you know.
there are the university provides housing everywhere inside the campus.
I see.
So basically, if you are a student coming along and you
Mhm.
don't have family, you still have many options to apply for a housing.
Right.
It's
right.
not very expensive. It's cheap.
Cheap,
and, yeah,
okay, okay.
affordable.
Very nice. But you are like with family, so they support you with family residence. Is that right?
You still have to apply for that,
Okay.
but the rent is comparatively lower. Like if you hire an apartment in downtown Toronto, it's going to be very expensive.
Right, right.
But because we are student at UFT and we apply for the UFT housing, it's much cheaper.
So, but is that housing provided free of cost, or you have to pay for it?
No, you have to pay it.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay, out of whatever you are getting from the
scholarship. Yeah,
I see.
or I mean they
Or
don't.
personally.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Hopefully, it's not expensive for you. I hope.
yeah. It's relatively it's fine comparatively. Yeah.
So it's not a challenge for you to financially support yourself in general, or
Well, if you are coming as a family and you have your spouse with you, this person should also work. Otherwise, it will be very difficult
Right.
to take care of the family only with the scholarship.
Oh, I see. I see. I was kind of thinking that it might be covered. I mean, living also or residence, but
No, it's not enough. If
Oh.
only one person, it's not even work. It's only the scholarship, so it's not really that much.
Oh, I see.
So
I see.
it's basically you cannot survive if the other person is not
Oh.
providing. Yeah.
So of course you are married,
It's
right?
minimal. You know?
Okay, okay.
It's minimal, I would say.
Minimal. Oh, okay, it's minimal. Oh, okay, because some scholarships, see, that's why. Some scholarships really cover you very well, living and everything.
If you are a single student, and you are a PhD student, it might be enough for you,
I see what you're saying.
but
Okay,
not enough to cover the expenses for a whole family.
they allow your spouse to work here.
Yes, if
Okay.
you are a graduate student, you can apply for a working visa for your spouse.
Good. Very nice. Okay, I don't want to, of course, get into your personal life,
Yeah.
but just trying to get some information. Alrighty. So, what do you think about job opportunities? For example, after you are done with PhD, do you think there will be a lot of opportunities opening up for you, or maybe not? What do you think?
Again, I think it depends on specialization and what do you study. As everywhere in the world, in Canada, some specializations are needed a lot and the rest are not.
Right.
For me, there are not very many opportunities. And another problem is that whether you will be eligible to stay here and as an international student to stay here and continue working and living here.
Right.
For that, you need to apply for permanent residence, and it's a whole different story.
Right. Of course. Yeah, you are very right. So, yeah, because you are very much specialized, so you really have to find your job in your area
Yes.
of specialty, right? Yeah.
There are not that many options. There are some.
I'm just thinking, sorry to interrupt, but of course you are in Middle Eastern studies. Probably Middle East will have a lot of, or they will have more opportunities, I guess.
Well, that's the thing in Middle East. The Middle Eastern studies is there are much more positions outside of the Middle East for studying
Oh,
Middle East.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
And scholarships and everything.
after the graduation, don't you think there may be opportunities in the Middle East for you?
I might consider.
I see.
Yeah, but my plan is to go back home after graduation.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, nice. But you are not employed in Armenia in university or something.
I am.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
Yes.
so you came like a faculty member or something.
Not really. I applied individually, but
Oh.
I still work for the research institute I used to work earlier. So my plan is to finish the studies here and then go back.
Go back
home.
there. Okay. So I hope this program will help you a lot
It will.
in your career.
Definitely.
At the least, because it's not a generalized degree like science technology, so you have to
Yes.
think.
It's very
Oh,
specific.
okay, I see. I got you. Well, wonderful. And coming very close, so I hope, yeah, there are job opportunities around that field. But yeah, it's a specialization. Any do's or don'ts or pros and cons you will say for the future students that okay before you come here about this university, Toronto, Canada, whatever, as an international student. Oh, do this, don't do this, have this. This is a challenge here. This is big opportunity or nice thing here.
Well, in general, it's a very good opportunity to come here and study
I see.
because it gives you like lots of opportunities. Firstly, to interact with people from different backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
You will in Toronto you will meet like people from everywhere in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives you an opportunity to become more open-minded
More.
and to interact with different cultures, different religions.
Right.
And what I would suggest is not to have very idealistic
Thinking.
about the education,
Mm-hmm.
because I think in general everywhere in the world it's the same percentage. It doesn't mean that if you are Harvard or the University of Toronto, then you are going to meet only like perfect specialists who are I don't
Oh,
know.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I think like everywhere in the world you can find like good specialists and then
Not so good.
not so good or someone in the middle.
I see.
So just keep your expectations realistic and then you will be fine.
Yeah, I'm just because I'm in IT, just thinking on my own. Are you in a way uh, planning to use information technology to apply in your, research or?
Well, the digital humanities, it's something that is becoming very popular nowadays
Right.
because people in humanities are now using different digital tools and artificial intelligence in their work, and it's really helpful. Some people, like old school people, mind it, but I never do, because if something is going to help our lives better and easier,
Mhm.
why not to take that opportunity?
I see. Yeah, because you must be dealing or working with professors of, senior professors of older age, kind of.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's related to the age. It's
Okay.
mostly about the way of thinking. Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Okay, fantastic. So almost done. So the last question would be, uh, well, before I forget, before the last question, since you're from Armenia, what would you say about Armenia for everybody to know? Like, very few people are, yeah, you don't know many people. How is the country in short, maybe if you don't mind, and how is the education in general over there? I see, people from India and other countries probably go there,
We
right?
have many students from India coming to study at the medical
Right.
university,
Right.
which is very popular. Overall, I would say if you are considering something like that, you should give it a try.
Mm.
I am very satisfied with the overall quality at the universities. It's different from, the style of how the courses are
Conducted.
conducted
Uh-huh.
and taught.
Told.
The style is very much different. It's more like the Soviet style, because we are a post-Soviet country.
Right.
But that, it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It's
Okay.
just different.
So what really you mean by Soviet style? It's like old style or the different way of thinking, teaching?
I think here, well, it's a whole different story, and it needs like hours to explain. But just to sum it up very generally, I think that in post-Soviet, in Soviet education, it was more factual, the education. In contrast, here in Western educational systems, it's more based on analytical.
I see. Oh, okay. Very interesting to know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But it's not like Is it like different culture? You would say? Or
I would say it's different educational
Different.
systems. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And I cannot really tell which one I prefer. I think I prefer a combination of
I
both,
see, I see.
somewhere in the middle. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, fantastic. So the last question for you would be that what is your message to the future aspirants who want to join this university or the program? What would you
I would simply encourage, especially if you are an international student,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter whether you are coming at UFT specifically or anywhere else in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Apply for scholarships. There are so many different opportunities worldwide.
I see.
Just find the program, find people who will provide you with good reference letters.
I see.
Do some research on how to succeed in your application and
Right.
take the opportunity, do it. It's great. I mean, life is short.
Yes,
Take as many opportunities as you can. Go to as many countries and live in as many different places as you can.
Fantastic. Well, Esther, so nice of you. You give me your time, and this information will help the students. And again, I wish you good luck in your postdoctoral life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.